Rebecca here with ClassicCars.com doing another automotive touch-up review. Last time we repaired the front bumper of my Subaru with their aerosol cans, and now this time we're going to repair my Tacoma that's got some pretty severe sun damage from the great Arizona sun. And we're going to be utilizing their ready-to-spray line with actual spray gun and all that good stuff. So we'll get to it. Alright, so to get everything prepped so that we can prep the hood, we took off the grille, the headlights, the front bumper. It was not super challenging, but there were certain areas that we kind of had to figure out where they were bolted in, but now we're ready to start. So we got sent a sandpaper pack, actually two of them, as you can see. They're 5.5 inch by 9 inch. Various grits on here, and we're gonna start with 180, but these are definitely meant more so for hand sanding, and we got a lot of surface area to cover, so we're gonna use this maybe on some other parts, the more detailed parts, but instead we're gonna opt for a little more efficient tool. And so we have our 180 right here. So we're taping, so we can prime it. Alright, we got the taping done. We're going to start using this neat product that Automotive TouchUp has. It's pre-taped masking film. So as you can see, it's kind of bright, but it's got the masking tape at the top and the film here, and it actually folds out, so it's much covers much more surface area than what it looks like. It's a pretty awesome product. Probably my favorite so far. Alright, so we taped off the specific areas that we're going to be painting, but we wanted to tape off the rest of the truck to make sure we're not getting any overspray. So we covered the whole entire truck with some film, and then we're going to cut out the areas that we're going to put some primer on. Alright, it's time to load up the primer into the spray gun. We're using this fancy schmancy Spectrum Harbor Freight Special.
Nice.
A long day. We are currently scuffing. Matt, do you want to tell us what we're doing right now?
Well, right now we got the entire truck disassembled. Got the door panels out, door handles out. door belt moldings, weather strip. Because if you don't take this stuff out, you have to tape around it. It looks like crap. Because when you paint it, you get it all in here and put it back together. It's going to look factory fresh. So right now, as you can see, we got everything primered already. So we still have to sand that, but now we're getting ready. We're prepping the panels that didn't need primer by scuffing them, and then later we're going to DA them with like a 500 grit to get them dull, so that the base coat has a mechanical tooth to bite into.
Sanded, prepped. Next step is to wash all of the panels, get it as dust free as possible, dry them up, get them ready to start spraying some base coat. Alright, so we got it all cleaned up. I'm going to make sure it's completely dry, and then we're going to get to masking so we can start putting the base coat. The interior is all torn apart. Alright, so we're doing something called back taping, where essentially we're taping from the back side so that we can still reach the lip, I guess you'd say, or the edge. So that's what we're doing right now. At the same time, Matt's over here back taping the window and then trying to cover up some of the things that we're trying to not paint. Here is the bumper. We just had to tape off this middle section. And then we have the grill. A couple of the these little pieces here.
Headlight stuff.
And there you go. Not too shabby. Alright, let's get this going. So we were given 4 wipes from Automotive TouchUp, and that was only enough to wipe it down initially prior to primer. So we ended up using this wax and grease remover to clean the surface so we can get ready for paint. Alright, well, Matt did the base coat. My handiwork isn't the best, so Matt took care of that. And I'm going to do a walk around and show you what we painted. It kind of blended down from the roof to the doors, to the bottom of the doors, just because obviously it's 2008 Tacoma, so there's some sun fading and blending that needs to be done. I'll take you around, show you what it looks like. Alright, Alright, here's the grill. A couple of these accent pieces as well. I brought some black paint for the little pieces on the inside of the grill that we're going to do later. Here's the bumper. We didn't sand it down too much. We're not trying to make it too completely perfect. You know, this isn't my daily driver, so we're being a little realistic with our time. But yeah, it's just way better than it did before. But the main piece, so we did the hood. Satin finish is pretty solid. Matt's pretty impressed with the paint and the way it came out of the gun. We did the fenders. Also to note, normally you want to take these these flares off, but I actually broke a couple of the clips already, so I don't want to take it off. A lot of those clips are really brittle, so ended up leaving those on. But we did tape off the little rubber seal here. You can't see now, but you'll see once we peel that off. And then we did the doors. You can see the roof is quite different now. Pretty exciting.
Do the work.
All right, day 3. Put the base coat, clear coat, let it cure overnight, and now we're kind of going in and doing some sanding to address some of the runs that we had. Clear coat didn't sit as well as we hoped it had. I'm going to hand it over to Matt so you can explain it a little better.
Never sprayed before, but it flashes really fast, dries really quickly. So I was literally running to keep a wet edge to paint this whole truck. Otherwise, if you just started in the middle of the panel and came back to it, you would see exactly, just wouldn't look pretty. It'd be worse than it is. So the clear didn't lay down as flat as I would like, and because my lighting over here is less than stellar, kind of lost track where I was, so I ended up with some runs in the middle of the panel. But I started at 320 all the way up to now 1500 to make it flat again, so now it will be buffable. A couple on the other side, not nearly as bad, and I'm probably gonna quick go over it by hand without the block with 1500 and just give everything a quick buff to give it a little less orange peel. It's not quite that it has a lot of orange peel, it's just kind of dull, and I kind of want to liven it up.
Just got the truck all cleaned up. It's been about a week or so since we painted it, let it bake in the sun, just so you guys can see the end result pretty well instead of immediately after. We had a couple of problems with the clear coat. I'm going to have Matt explain that a little later, but wanted to show you around to see what it turned out, or how it turned out. The clear coat kind of looks a little matte, I guess you'd say. Not as glossy as I'd like it to look, but overall I'm pretty happy with how it turned out.
Like Rebecca said, had a little trouble with the clear coat. The base and the primer, I really liked how it laid down, but the clear coat, I think in my opinion, is better for panel painting when you got one panel to paint versus as big as a project as we did. It set up really fast, so it's a little difficult to keep a wet edge when you're painting a complete truck like this. And because of that, we had some runs in some of the vertical panels that we had to take care of, and even after it's setting up in the sun, it hazed up a little bit, even after we had sanded and buffed the whole car.